This lesson is on rhythm. Rhythm allows music to move and to be interesting. In this lesson, you will learn the names of the different notes, how many beats each note receives, or its note value, the time signature, and putting notes into measures. In music, you will find many kinds of different notes. Notes are symbols for sound. And rests are symbols for silence. The different shapes of notes tell us how long the sound or the silence will last. These are the different kinds of notes. A whole note receives 4 beats of sound, or the sound is heard for 4 beats. A half note receives 2 beats of sound, or the sound is heard for 2 beats. The dotted half note receives 3 beats of sound, or the sound is heard for 3 beats. The quarter note receives 1 beat of sound, or the sound is heard for 1 beat. The eighth note receives 1/2 beat of sound, or the sound is heard for 1/2 a beat. The 16th note receives 1/4 of a beat of sound, or the sound is heard for 1/4 of a beat. Quick quiz! Are you ready? What is the name of this note? It's a whole note. How many beats does it receive? 4. You are correct. What is the name of this note? And how many beats does it receive? It's a half note. Is equal to 2 beats of sound. Good job. What is the name of this note? How many beats does it receive? It's a dotted half note. Notice the dot. It's equal to 3 beats. If you guessed dotted half note, you are correct. What is the name of this note? How many beats does it receive? If you guessed quarter note, you are correct. It receives 4 beats. Good job. What is the name of this note? And how many beats does it receive? If you guess eighth note and 1/2 a beat, you are correct. What is the name of this note? And how many beats does it receive? If you guess 16th note and 1/4 of a beat, you are correct. Great job. Let's move on. This is a time signature. It is two numbers on top of each other. It looks like a fraction without the fraction bar. The time signature tells us two things. It tells us how many beats are in each measure. The top number tells us the number of beats in each measure. It also tells us that the quarter note receives one beat. The bottom number tells us the quarter note receives one beat. The measure bar or bar line divides the musical staff into sections called measures. This is a bar line, this is a bar line, and this is a bar line. The space in between the bar lines is called a measure. This is where you put the notes that are to be played or sung. A certain number of beats are required in each measure. We are told how many by looking at the top number of our time signature. So in this time signature, we have how many beats in this measure? There are 4 beats in each measure. You are correct. So we can put 4 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4 in one measure, and that will be equal to 4 beats. We can put 1 whole note in a measure because a whole note is 4 beats, so it will take up the whole measure. We can put 2 half notes in a measure, and that will be 4 beats. Make sure that when you put your notes in, add the beats together, and make sure that they add up to the number that is at the top of the time signature. This is not the number of notes in a measure. It is the number of beats. Ready for another quiz? What is this symbol called? This symbol is called a time signature. If you guess time signature, you are correct. What does the top and bottom numbers tell us? The top number tells us the number of beats in each measure. The bottom number tells us that the quarter note receives 1 beat. Ready for the next one? What are the lines that divide the staff into sections called? What are these sections called? These are called bar lines. And these sections are called measures. What tells us how many beats should be in each measure? The top number of the time signature tells us the number of beats in each measure. How many whole notes can we put in the first measure? We can put one whole note in the first measure because it is equal to 4 beats, and that will complete the entire measure. How many half notes can we put in the second measure? We can put 2 half notes in the second measure because each half note is 2 beats each. 2 plus 2 equals 4. So that completes the second measure. How many quarter notes can we put in the third measure? 1, 2, 3, 4. Since they are 1 beat apiece, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 4. So the number of beats in this measure matches the top number of the time signature. If you guessed this, you are correct. Good job. Coming soon, Rhythm Part 2. Keep studying. Goodbye.